Hello everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Ohio, here to bring you my Simply Saturday video, and it is video number 78 that we are doing today, and we're going to do a card using little 1-inch pieces of DSP. Sounds little, doesn't it? Well, that's what we're going to do, but first I'm just setting up and making sure that I can see this monitor here pretty good. And looks good. Looks good on my end, so that's a good thing. So I hope everybody had a good week this week, and I hope your weekend's going to be really good. We had some storms come through. We had a couple of tornadoes close by. I think they said there was 2 in our county. I'm not really sure, but I think they said 2. But anyway, it was kind of rough going there for a little bit, but everything's turned out okay for us. We're safe and that, and I don't think there was any fatalities or anything with the tornadoes that came, but there's a lot of damage to a lot of stuff. And I gotta tell you, I am going to yawn because I am so daggone tired, and I bring all that on myself, though. I can't even complain about that, because I bring so much stuff like that onto myself. But anyway, I love the card that I'm going to be doing. Just to let you know, Stampin' Up's got the new July online exclusives out. What else? They got a creative challenge for the demonstrators to try to meet their goal, to beat their goal that they had last year. That's going on, and I'm doing pretty good with that. So staying on track, and what's the date? The 20th. So I have about, what, 10 more days? Is there only 30 days in July? I don't know. But anyway, we're close. Also, the product of the month. I haven't got mine yet. I placed an order like on June 13th. I've not got it yet. I'm hoping that it's coming. I actually placed 2. I think. Well, they might have been a couple days apart. But anyway, they need one that I know of as of last night. I didn't check today. They hadn't been shipped yet. So hopefully they're coming, and hopefully they're coming soon, because I really want that. I think it's so cute, and I want to use it before June's up. So anyway, I'm going to turn my camera down. We're going to do this card. I'm only making one, and I hope you like it. It's oh well, I have to yawn, so I'm sorry. It is using 1-inch by 1-inch pieces. And we used 9 of them, so that's really easy. I just want to show this card. I did layer it a little more than what I thought I would do, but as I start making it, I just have to kind of keep going till it gets to the way I like it. So it's still a simple card. So let's turn the camera down. Let's get started. You don't have to watch me yawn, and we'll get through this card. Okay, let's turn ourselves away here. There we go. Turn ourselves down and bring that camera way in, and hopefully my card's not even sitting straight. But hopefully you like my new orange pad. And I like on the glass mat, it's got, I don't want to peel it too much because it gets air bubbles in it, but it's got a real shiny side, and it just sticks to this pad to where, of course, my table's moving, if you can tell that. I'm shaking it. But I don't even have any lights on. Looks good on the camera, but I can't see. So as well, because it's sure not down on me any. There we go. Now we're really bright. Okay, so here is my card. We're going to be using the banner punch, which is right there with the banner sayings, which are these right here. They are in the new catalog, or the current catalog, I should say. So this is what I'm using for the saying. And then I'm using the Fern and Flora stamp set. And what I'm using it for is for these little marks back here. And for the inside of the card. I did them right there on the inside also. So I'm going to be using that for that. And then I'm going to use the Fern and Flora dies. The two that I used are not sitting there. Because, and you know what? I forgot to cut them. I'm going to have to cut them real quick. So we'll do that. I'll just get us some scrap paper. And we'll cut, we're going to be using these two dies right here that comes in with this set, which are all of these dies right through here that go with this stamp set, and the papers. We're going to be using the papers also. So that'll be nice. And what else are we going to be using? We'll be using the, these are embellishments that go with that. And it's called Dewdrops Embellishments. And I can't talk tonight for some reason. I just got tongue twisted. But here's a lot of my banner punches. I just punch a bunch out. When I'm punching a color, I'll punch some extra ones. I keep them in my baggie. And that way I have them to use when I'm making a card. So we should already have our banner punch made out. So before we get started, let's cut our two dies that I forgot to cut. Woe is me, let me tell you. So I'm going to get 2 pieces of scrap out of my little scrap bags here. If I can find a scrap big enough for what I want, I guess we will use. Can't find me a small scrap of this. And I'm hoping this will be big enough for the other one. Let's see. Is this going to fit on there? Yeah, that'll fit there. And this one I'll just fit right up in this little corner. In fact, I'll just cut off a piece to use. And there we go. We'll just do this like this. Put my scraps back over here and get out my machine. We'll use the little one because it's easier to carry, and that is all we need for these. Lose my die. We don't want to lose the die, do we? So let's put this like so. Have it just like that. Move this out of the way. Put on my plate number 1 and one of my plate number 2. Then we'll put our dies down. And I'm not going to worry about having to use washi tape or anything. So let's hope they don't slide. And then I'll put this one over here. We'll put our, we're going to slide this plate back just a little bit, because if they're uneven, they will slide through just a little bit better on the small machine. And then I'll line this one back up, stick that in the machine, and here we go. And my machine is squeaky. And that should be good. And we shall see. Here's our little fern. If I can get him loose. So there's our fern. Then here's our other little piece. And he is going to stick in the die. That's all right. I will go and get my, I'll show you what I get to use when I do that. when that is in the die, I bring in, I have an old paper pumpkin box, and I have this right here. It's part of the Pick Tool series, and this is the brush for the die cut. So I just kind of brush back and forth, and I'll pick it up. I like to pick it up and do it, and it will get. Okay, let's see if this comes on. Waiting for a signal. Should be there. There we go. Back in business. Sorry about that. So what just happened with that is my I forgot my battery was about to die, and I had to plug it in really quick. Oh my gosh. And I told myself right before that, I thought, plug your phone in before you start. And yeah, you see what I did, or what I didn't do. So we're gonna stamp. It says, consider yourself hugged. So there we go. We'll clean that. And then we'll stamp our, what do I do with my piece of scrap paper? We need some scraps. So let's put this over here with our die cuts. And that's my little stamp set we used. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, it's 5 by 3 3/4, and so is this one, and we're going to stamp our little, oh, I don't know what kind of lines, just lines. So what I did with this, for this side, is I stamped dark, inked it back up, and stamped off, because if you don't stamp off when you do that, you will get some, where it went off the edge, you could have some breaks in it. So there we go. So we have that stamped. So let's bring this one in, and what I want to do is I'm just going to start down here at the bottom, and hopefully that will be my bottom, but we'll see. This can be a little forgiving here. I'll turn that away. Just want to cover up some of that where I goofed a little bit. So you just want to randomly stamp that. There's no rhyme or reason to what you do. We're going to set that to the side for a second. I'm going to bring in my card, which is 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4 and folded. And this is soft sea foam. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this to the front of my card. We're going to get everything out of the way, and then we're going to put our little 9 patches together. And we get to use up a little bit more scrap that way, which is always nice. Let's go ahead and put our inside in. I've actually been wanting to make this card for a couple months, and I just have not done it. Oops, and I don't know why, but I wanted to. And I thought, well, I think this Saturday is the day. So let's set this aside now. I'm going to actually burnish this just one more time so it'll lay flat. Now we're going to bring in this little piece of DSP. Now I have cut this 3 by 3 because that's what we're going to end up having the sides of the size of our little and here I'm just going to mix that up, and I've got these, and I don't know if they're on the sides I want them on or not, but it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things. I'm either missing some or there's those two, there's those two, that's those two, that's those two. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we're evidently not using that one, right? So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to bring in this, and I'm just going to add it to right here. I think it's going to go, I don't know, this way. So I'm just going to butt that up against that paper, the cardstock. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right here next to that. So I'm just lining those up, trying not to get glue all over the place. And I think I'll use this one over here. Now I am going to trim this up once I get it made. Once we are done, we will trim. So this one I think we'll put right here. And maybe this one here. I think I want it up this way. And then I'm going to put, I think I'll put this one over here. I'll put this one here. Put this one in the middle. Trying to see how I want that to go. I think like that. I think that's the good way. So you want those butted up against each other. Now I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim that all just to have nice even edges. So let's bring in our paper trimmer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over just to see what I have to do here to get my nice clean edges. But I'm not going to do that one first because that one, this one's got a nice clean edge. So just going to bring that back just a little bit. So I'm just cutting off just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to lay this one there and cut off a tiny bit of it. get all this out of the groove as I go. I'll cut this one just a tiny bit. And you take off just a sliver, it just, there we go. The one edge was really good. There we go. That makes a mess, doesn't it? There's still a piece of it in my trimmer. And the way you get those out is you just take and you run there. Well, usually it'll come out. There we go. Get it? It wants to stay stuck in there, doesn't it? There we go, we got it. I didn't want it to, if it had glue on it, I did not want it to dry in there. That would not be a good thing for my paper trimmer. So let's move all that off of here. Scoot it over. Scoot it over. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to, and I cut this about 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. So it's going to have more of a border than the other one I had, which I could cut down if I wanted to, or I can leave it the way it is. And I'm going to leave it the way it is and have more of a white border on that. So let's do this. And my nose is going to itch. Just because I have glue on my fingers, right? Oh my goodness. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to turn this over and I am going to cut this into some dimensionals that I can use. I almost put it on the wrong thing, didn't I? Because I just wasn't thinking. Just was not. There we go. I got paper on my thumb. Little curly cues of paper. Sheesh. Lots of paper. I love paper. Okay, and this is going to go like this, and I am going to put it right here. And then I'm going to take my leaves, and I'm just going to put glue down here like that. Not putting a lot of glue. I'm going to bring this up, and as long as it is not outside the card, you can let it hang over for some dimension. I'm going to take my other leaf and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to, let me get this little glue buildup off of there. Took a piece of cardstock and the old cardstock and wiped it so I can see what I'm doing. So there we go. We've got some glue on there. And I'll just crisscross this over that. And there's my leaves. And so what I'm going to do on here is we are going to put some dimensionals on it. So I'm going to take it on this side, and I'm going to put a piece here, and then I'm going to put a piece all the way over on this side. And I'm not putting anything in the middle because we have those leaves are there. So I'm just going to put this here and there. And then we will take some jewels. We used the green ones on the other one. I think I'm going to use the Secret C on this one. I think I might like that. So I'm going to put one up here. One right here. And maybe I don't want to put one on that Secret C over there, so maybe one right down here so you can really see them. Because the card I did right here, it was hard to see the green where I did that. So that is the card. How easy is that? I told you I wanted to do a easy card. I mean, it is simply Saturday. So that's what we have, and that is our card. So the measurements are easy. You have two pieces that are 5 by 3 3/4, a white one, and then a colored one. You have your card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You have a piece of 3 by 3 cardstock that you put the 9 little 1 inch by 1 inch squares on. And then you have a 3 1/8 by a 3 1/8 piece of white cardstock, and then whatever you want your sentiment to be. And that's your card. Now you could dress it up, you could add a bow, and you could do all this that you wanted to, but I wanted to keep it kind of simple. Even though it has layers and some texture and dimension to it, it's still a very simple card. And I think you could produce these really quick if you had to make a few birthday cards or a few whatever type of cards. You could produce these really easy, and you can use a lot of little scrap up. So I just want to show you, and that's the two cards differently because we do have some I didn't use the kind of the pink color on here, and I didn't use, I might have used the rest of them, not sure. Yeah, I did. I used the rest of them. So anyway, that you know, you just mix and match. I cut up a bunch of 1 inch by 1 inch squares and then divvied them out and made the two cards. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great Saturday. And remember, I'll be back on Tuesday with my live video. And until then, be creative when you can, and be safe, and have a great weekend. Bye.